Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Hello everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. We are going to talk about this very beautiful new moon in Virgo that is happening tomorrow at 5:52 p.m. Pacific time. So like in the evening, which means that when we're doing our ceremony tomorrow, it'll be exactly on the time of the new moon. Oh my God, I love it when that happens. So let's say hi to everybody that's in the chat. Darcy, welcome in. Sanders, hello. Belinda, how are you? Warrior Sisters of the Light, welcome in. Melanie, welcome in. Amy, it's been a crazy week and a weekend. Like everyone is off. I feel like some people are getting the downloads and some are not. So many relationship issues have come up as well. What the heck? Yes, to all of that. Kim, oh my God, Kim, I want to talk to you. But yes, so this is a very beautiful new moon that's going to be happening, and I'm going to talk about the astrology. And what I usually do with these broadcasts is I'll show you the chart in a moment. I also will go over all of the major aspects and what they mean, mostly for the collective. But then I will go through each of the signs towards the end, and I'll tell you where these energies are, where the new moon is actually going to be happening in your own chart based off of your sun, moon, Venus, and rising. And so you can get whatever, messages and downloads from all of those. I would recommend watching all of them, because I do astrology and I look at mostly at your rising sign. But if there's a message from one of the signs that really resonates with you, then of course it is for you. So that's something that I did want to mention as well. And then we'll go over the Sabian symbols and the Chandra symbols as well, which is my favorite part of the broadcast. So we're going to get into that in a moment. Before we do, I do want to remind you guys, I want to thank everyone, all the beautiful goddesses that have signed up for the Moon Goddess training so far. Thank you so much. I am so freaking excited about this Moon Goddess training. You cannot believe it. It is an extended program. I have added 2 extra weeks to the program. Normally I run it for 4 weeks, but this time it's happening for 6 full weeks. So that's 40-day period, which gives us the opportunity to do a 40-day meditation, which in 40 days, that's how long it takes to stop a habit and start a new one. So we're going to meditate for 40 days every single day. And I'm going to be going live on my Instagram account for the Moon Goddess Training specifically. It's at Moon Goddess Training. So make sure to follow that Instagram account. Even if you don't do the Moon Goddess Training, follow that account because you'll be able to join us for the 40-day meditation. I'll be doing that publicly. So I'm actually so excited about these things that are coming up. So thank you to those of you that have signed up already and to those of you that are thinking about it. If you have any questions, if you have anything you want to ask me and you're wondering about, please reach out. I've had some people reach out to me about it. And so I will help you figure out what's the best decision for you. I do have a payment plan for those of you that would like to separate the payment into two. The price for the program is $222. And the things that we're going to cover, I wonder if I can show you on my iPad. I probably could. So let me just do a little share here and go into, where is my internet? Let's go right here. So, oh, cool. I can show you. I always forget that I can do this, but this is the page that takes you to the Moon Goddess Training sign up. And oh my God, I love the pink and the white. I'm wearing pink and white right now. Okay, Jai. So I've called on the goddess and have found her within myself. You can read some more information about this, but what I really wanted to go over is this stuff. This is the juicy part of the program. You will be initiated into the mystery schools of Hathor. And I'm not even kidding that we're probably going to talk about Hermetic alchemy and the 7 Hermetic laws. Like, no joke, it's going to be deep. There will be a time for us to literally connect with each other face to face and have conversations. This will all be held on Zoom. You'll also get to learn and talk about how intuition really works and how to access it for yourself and how to really find out what your psychic gifts are. And how you can see those actually in your natal chart. So there's specific things in your natal chart that tell you this is how intuitive you are. This kind of flavor of intuition you were really good at. And so there's going to be astrology. There's going to be ancient mystery school wisdom. There's going to be the Kundalini. Yeah, I know, Valerie, I'm so excited. The Kundalini awakening DNA light codes. I think we might even talk about the gene keys. I just want to bring everything in. Like, this program is going to really turn into, this is what I want from now on, is really my mystery school, and to help women mostly, because I feel like we're moving into a time where the balance between the masculine and the feminine is going to flip, but not in the way that you may think. And it really is about us women understanding what that really means. And we're going to talk about that. So it may not be what you think it is. And it's really a really cool conversation to have, and a really needed conversation to have. We're also going to talk about different markings in your chart that tell you what kind of goddess you embody, like Hathor or Isis or Kuan Yin or the white buffalo calf woman. Like, there's just so many different things that you can look at in the chart, specifically with the asteroids. So we're going to talk about the asteroids too, and other planets and hidden planets that also show you, and points that also show you what kind of goddess you are, including like a goddess Isis asteroid that we're also going to talk about. We're going to talk about moon goddess magic, how to manifest with the cycles of the moon, the 13 moon centers, and that's a Kundalini yoga tradition that came handed down from Yogi Bhajan, who was the teacher who brought Kundalini yoga to the West. And then it's a beautiful aspect that I'm actually adding to it. It used to be 11 moon centers, but I have discovered that there's more than that. There's actually 13, and 13 just fits because 13 is the number of the goddess. And we're starting actually on the new moon in Libra, which is going to be at 13 degrees. So it's just powerful. And then we'll talk about ritual and ceremony, and we'll talk about why work with an altar, why do ritual, why do ceremony. Anyways, this is the page to sign up. There is a payment plan, like I said, so you can choose to do that instead. But I'm so excited about it, and I'm going to keep talking about it because I can't shut up. So there you go. And I'm a crazy Gemini, so you're going to hear about it every time I go live. So I am like this excited about it. And if you want to sign up, then you can go and click the link in the description of this video. And there's other things as well that are coming up. We're doing a doTERRA essential oil challenge if you want to learn how to work with oils, essential oils and your chakras. I'm also doing a special this month. If you've had a Starseed ancestry reading from me, you can now do the astral activation. You're eligible now to sign up for that. And that means that you'll also get an oil, a free essential oil from the Starseed oil line that I have created. And oh my God, the new Stargates calendar is coming out. Can you believe that we're actually closer and closer to the fall equinox? It's literally in like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, something like that is the fall equinox. I can't even believe it. So we'll be doing the webinar and we'll be doing the Stargates calendar. The new one will be coming out. And I have mentioned it before, but next year, tell me what you think about this, you guys. Next year, I'm going to actually make an actual hard copy book. Do you remember a lot of you guys purchased our book, The Circle of Stars? I don't have it here, so I can't show you, but my friend Tara Wild and I created a beautiful book called The Circle of Stars, focusing on like the Celtic wheel and the new and the full moons. This calendar that I want to create is actually also a hard copy of a newer, more like expanded version of my Stargates calendar, which, oh, thank you, Belinda, which is going to basically do the Stargates that I'm already doing and then add some more information into it. So that is going to be like amazing, and you'll be able to actually purchase it and get the hard copy. Like I want to have it on Amazon and all this stuff and like sell the copies. I mean, I'm just like, oh my God, so excited. So that will be something that I will begin in March for the spring equinox, because that is astrologically, that is the beginning of the astrological year. So that's when like the energies combine. So we'll have mythology, like all this stuff within that book, and it'll be a calendar for the whole year. What do you guys think about that? I can't freaking wait. If I haven't said hi to you in the chat, then hello, Silmontes de Oca. Welcome in. Who else? Let's see. What kind of comments did I miss? Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. Yay, that's awesome. Oh yeah, we do. We have a lot of Kims. I was talking to Unicorn Way. Tamika, welcome in. Yes. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's awesome, Valerie. There's a portal on my birthday. Yay. Okay. So that's everything that I wanted to share with you guys. So now we are going to hop on into the chart, and I am going to talk about, now I've lost the connection, so let's reset it. But I'm going to now talk about the astrology of this new moon in Virgo, what it means for us collectively, and then go through each of the signs and talk about what it means for us individually. And tomorrow, don't forget, we're going to do the new moon ceremony. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Hello, Kai. Welcome in. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with us. So here's the chart of the new moon in Virgo, which, like I said, it's happening tomorrow, pretty much at the time we're going to have our ceremony. So that's rare, because I usually just do my ceremonies at 6 p.m. That time just works for me, and it works for a lot of my viewers. So to have them both coincide with each other is actually really special. But the way that you tell that you're looking at a new moon is you look at the sun and the moon and you see, are they together? And they are together here in this chart at 14 degrees of Virgo. That's the degree that the moon is happening. It is also in a stellium with Mars. So Mars is also in Virgo during this time, and Mars is our drive. So Mars is like how we put our action, put our walk the talk, put our what's that phrase? Something where your mouth is. God, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyways, Mars in Virgo is all about getting organized. Mars in Virgo is about focusing on the details, focusing on your daily life. So this moon, which normally happens in Virgo season during the early week, the first week or so of Virgo season, is to remind us, like, hello, you need to focus on your daily life. You need to focus on this moment right here, right now. Thank you for that donation. You need to focus on what's in front of you. Virgo and Pisces is that duality that channels the divine light codes into this three-dimensional reality. Virgo is the 3D. It's like living here in this world. And that's why focusing on the details is important, and being present is the most important thing. So this is a moon that generally is asking us to be present. It's asking us to get organized, is asking us to focus on the details, focus on being right here. So we don't escape. Pisces is escaping or like blending or like merging with the divine, while Virgo is being right here, aware of everything that's going on. So it can be an uncomfortable energy because you can't get away from it. And that can be the uncomfortable side of Virgo, but it is here in a stellium with Mars. And the main thing that this moon is doing, that is probably the most important aspect, is that from 14 degrees of Virgo to 14 degrees of Taurus, there's a beautiful trine. So this moon is almost exactly trining Uranus. I talked about it. I did a short video earlier today, and I posted it here, and I also posted it on Instagram. By the way, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Channel for Grace. I'm posting a lot more on there and getting more and more content out there as well. But I would love to interact. That's a great platform to also send me messages if you need to contact me. I have not had that for a while, like 6 months, so it's nice to be back. But anyways, this trine to Uranus is very, very important. Because first of all, a trine is a harmonious aspect. A trine is something that brings in like good vibes, good energy. When you think about what Uranus represents, which is the higher mind, for one thing, and you think about the universe is all mind. Everything is mind. In the beginning was mind, everything. Like in the ancient Hermetic alchemists teach about this. This is the first law of Hermetic alchemy, is that mentalism. Everything is mind. When you think about Uranus that rules the higher mind, this is, for one, an opportunity to lift ourselves up to that higher state of mind so that we can understand things from that higher perspective. Another thing that Uranus rules is revolution, change, shaking up our foundation. In Taurus, it's literally the earthquake that comes in and like shakes everything up, and then you have to put the pieces back together, but in a completely new way. Uranus is ruled by the sign of Aquarius, and we did have that conjunction between Saturn, who is still in Aquarius, and Jupiter, who is still in Aquarius, and they're going to be here for a little while longer. They had that conjunction on December, on the solstice of 2020. So December of 2020. And that was the next, I believe, 10, 12 years, something like that. It's like a 10, 12-year cycle. And then maybe 20-year cycle. I don't quote me on that, but it's quite a bit of time where there's a theme, and the theme is Aquarius. And Uranus rules Aquarius. And so that the dispositor of, like, the ruler of that conjunction was Uranus. And we talk about moving into the Aquarian age. We are seeing right now, like, everything crumbling. Life as we once knew it is crumbling, is changing, is like completely transforming. In a year from now, we literally are not going to recognize the world that we live in. We already probably don't recognize the world that we live in. And what this trine is bringing here, which is, I'm so happy that it's a trine and not a square, is because the ability for Uranus to create new worlds, think of Aladdin, right? Like a whole new world where like she goes on a completely new journey, and she has to trust that like the journey is going to take her to somewhere beautiful, and it does. And think of, like, God, it's such a funny, I don't know why that came to me, but every time I think of like a whole new world and I say that phrase, I think of that song, and she's on the magic carpet, and it literally is a whole new world, and it literally is like expanding her mind. It is an awakening. What happens when we awaken is we become alive. We become aware of so much more. Like, we open up another door, a doorway to another way of seeing the world, a higher perspective. And this is bringing in a new world. But we're also seeing all these, crazy things going on around us, where like people really are like losing it. Like, I'm not even kidding. I spend most of my day at home, not because I'm afraid to go out there, but because I am like a hermit. And actually, Virgo is very much hermit season. So don't feel weird or awkward if you prefer to stay home and not like be out there in the world doing stuff, because that's not the vibe. Although I will be going out of town, like to the DOTERRA convention this week, which is totally outside of my comfort zone. And at the same time, it's exciting. I'm going to see my friends. And so it doesn't mean stop your life. It just means if you feel that need, that desire to really like hermit right now, like that's completely okay. And that's what this moon does. But this, I feel like it's a mystic energy. With Virgo being the hermit, to me, it's kind of like the mystic that like just hunkers down and like studies everything and then understands the world, like has that awakening and like understands the world in a completely new way. It's like a shock to the system. That's what Uranus does. Hello, Christina Maria. It's a shock to the system, but with the trine, it's awakening us to a whole new world. That is the biggest, I would say, the biggest theme of this moon. There is some other things that are going on. The moon it's within a wide orb opposition to Neptune. And that's the opposition to Neptune happens like a few hours after the new moon. The moon exactly opposes Neptune. And then the next time is, I think it's maybe a few days later. I've been writing about this. Where is it? I've been writing about this. It's next week. So next week, the sun will make that exact opposition to Neptune. So those are energies that because they're within orb here, we have to acknowledge them. But know that these are energies that will become stronger within a week or so. And also because the theme of a new moon it lasts like a whole cycle. So you have to think about the new moon becomes full moon, and then becomes new again. And by the next new moon cycle, that usually completes that sort of circle or cycle. Well, this is about deception. This is about confusion. Neptune, like, it brings in the fog. It's like when you're trying to navigate a ship and the fog comes and you're like, oh crap, you can't see where you're going. You can't see what's in front of you. So you doubt yourself. But that is the time where you need to trust your intuition more than anything. You know what I mean? Like, that is the time where, like, especially when Neptune is in his home sign of Pisces, that is the time where you have to trust your intuition more than anything. And you have to remember that, like, the fog always clears. But did you realize that the fog was even there? Did you realize that there was something happening? And that's the key. And that's why I like the trine to Uranus, because it's going to give us an opportunity to see the higher perspective while at the same time the fog is coming in. It's like the Titanic in the middle of the night, who hits the iceberg because they didn't see it. And they were going like full speed ahead in the middle of the night through iceberg country, So they should have been going probably a little slower, but they wanted to beat the record or whatever. And because of that, they literally freaking sunk the ship, Hello, Paula. Welcome in. Magical blessings to you too. So that's the energy that we're feeling, this like, whoa, what, the fog is coming. Like, you have to tread carefully. You can't trust everything you see. You can't trust everything you hear. You have to tread carefully. And that's another strong energy of this moon. We're also going to see a square from Venus, who coincidentally, actually nothing in astrology is coincidence, is making a square to Pluto. And she's actually making a square to Pluto 2 degrees away from a star called Spica. And Spica is one of the main stars of the Arcturus starseed nation. And the Arcturians are master healers, master teachers. If you're an Arcturian starseed, you've gotten a reading from me, you understand, like, they're here to like usher in the new world. Like, they're here to usher in the new earth. And that's when it comes to things like sustainability, like community, like working with each other. It makes sense. This is in Western astrology found within the Libra energy, which is also about harmony in relationships. So she's making this square to Pluto, which is a challenging thing. It's like, Venus square Pluto in relationships brings up those like things come to the surface, and it can cause like disagreements, but it's way more than that. It causes like tumultuous, like it's like an unraveling, like a hole opens up and we're like, oh my God, there's the underworld, and it's like, whoa, you have to like be careful, don't fall in, so you can get lost in like the fight, the volatility, the aggression, like Pluto rules the underworld, the dark. It brings dark things up in relationships. And of course, the squares are only challenges to help us move through things that come up. We're not supposed to get stuck there. Nothing in astrology lasts forever. Some aspects last longer than others. Hello, Rebecca. However, this is also something that's happening during this new moon, which means that challenge to relationships is definitely here. And I think because like someone who said in the chat earlier, some people are getting it and some people are not. Like, some people are getting the downloads and some people are definitely not. And that's the challenge. And relationships is going to be so important in the coming months, in the coming years, because you really are going to have to ask yourself, like, is this my crew? Like, is this the people, the person that I really want to be with during these chaotic times? Hey, Nelvin, welcome in. So those are big themes. Those are big themes. But this is an aspect that's happening here during this new moon. There will be a grand trine in air with Mercury, Saturn, and the North Node. So we can see actually a beautiful grand trine here, which activates our intellect, our intuition, but it's also sextiling the South Node. So telling us that the resolution, hey, Alexa, welcome in. The resolution of this energy is really channeled through, we need to look back, but not to get stuck in the past, but to understand, like to not make the same mistakes that we've always made. So our mind is awakening. Our mind is activating so that we can actually understand where we're going and not get stuck in the past. So I think that grand trine is a beautiful aspect that's happening here. Let's see, there's going to be a yod from to Mars from a sextile from Jupiter to Chiron. So Jupiter sextile Chiron. Where is it at? Here's Jupiter sextile Chiron, and then there's the yod. And remember, we talked about a yod, and that's Mars quincunxing Jupiter pretty much exactly during this new moon. But the yod is the finger of God or the finger of the goddess, and it points to the resolution. So this is saying that right now, to resolve these issues, like the healing that's happening in the collective and the Jupiter expands this healing, also brings up things that need to be healed, which that the healing is like, we think, oh, I'm healing. It's like, that's not really what healing looks like. It's gnarly, it's intense, there's a lot of emotion, it's ugly, but it's healing, because when you get to the end, it's very much like in a lot of ceremonies that I've gone to, which last like the whole night, is when you start to see the sun come up, and it's like, oh, we made it. And that's what you remember about the healing, right? Yeah, that's what you remember is the beauty of the morning and the sunshine, but you don't really, remember that, like that the ugly part of the night, or like your journey into like the symbolic shamanic death that occurs during any kind of ceremony that you're seeking to heal yourself. So the focus is how to resolve these things is to focus on, for one, being present. I talked about this in the beginning, being present, focusing on the details, focusing on your daily life from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. What are you doing? Are you walking the talk, or are you just like pretending and then like taking a break? Like going through life and just pretending, and then, okay, then I'm going to be over here. Like, are you actually, is what you do on a daily basis, does it match your beliefs? Does it match your values? And that's something that Uranus is also doing for us, is asking us, like, there's new values that are showing up. We're learning new values within ourselves. So this is really important for us to focus on this here right now. Also, your health. But how do you actually stay healthy is not, I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to tell you the actual way, the real true way to stay healthy is to focus every single day on your health. Not sometimes, not just when you feel funky. It's, what do you eat? What do you think? What do you do with your body? Do you exercise? Do you not? That's the real, hello, Dancing River of Stars and Cole. That's the real way to stay healthy. And so if you don't take care of yourself, mind, body, spirit, it's not just one thing. They're all connected. They're all intertwined. You can't separate yourself. Yes, we have a spirit. Yes, we have a body. And in our minds, we have to separate them, because to understand them, it's like, okay, well, but then when we do that, hello, Mother Mary, when we do that, we basically shut ourselves off from realizing that we're all these things all together. We're all one. Hi, Nisha. We're all one. Exactly. 5D values. So to take care of yourself right now, self-care, to the hardcore self-care, hardcore. Do you take vitamins, supplements? Do you take minerals? Your body needs minerals, you guys. Your body needs minerals. I recommended minerals to a friend of mine who was feeling funky, and she said they like changed her entire life. I'm not even exaggerating, because that's literally what she said. She said her skin looks better. I mean, these are things that it used to be ancient knowledge, but now it's not. We've just gotten so lazy, we've just gotten so used to the commodities of the modern world that we just stopped taking care of ourselves. That's the real way. And Mars shows us how to do that. And that's the real way to stay healthy. I'm going to just leave it. I'm just going to leave that one there, because that's the yod, and it's pointing exactly at Mars in Virgo. And this is a new moon in Virgo. So let's see. Venus is also going to be making a beautiful trine to Jupiter, as well as an opposition to Eris. And this is significant because Eris is making a very clear appearance during this time, which is rare in this type of transit, involving Venus in her dignity and Jupiter in Aquarius, which is retrograde. So if I show you where that's at in the chart, Venus is right here, and there's that beautiful trine. I mean, how beautiful is that? Venus and Jupiter are the two benefics. When they come together in a trine, they bring in those vibes: love, beauty, pleasure, enjoyment of life. They're both in air signs, though. Venus is at home, though, so she's very strong here. She's like, I'm gonna help you focus on love and beauty. Nelvin. And like that's the dynamic here. It's like optimism. It's optimism and enthusiasm, a desire. Exactly. Yes. Thanks, guys, for throwing all the stuff up there. Desire to expand. To expand. And this is a mind activation, a mind expansion. And then Eris she's known as, so this opposition, yeah, it's almost exact. Eris is the hidden planet. When Eris came out, message me privately, Valerie. When Eris came out, she basically was like, oh, we found another planet. And then a little bit later, they demote her to a planetoid, and then they take Pluto off the list of planets, which makes absolutely no sense. It makes sense because I actually just finished watching this interview with the Leo King, and he was talking about how that's the resistance to like true change, like deep, like shadow work. Like we resist shadow work as a collective. Astronomers are basically the way that they it's so funny because for astrologers, we look at the planets and we know they have meaning, and we just watch the planets just like rule the shit out of everything, and we laugh because it makes so much sense. But when you think about how major things in society, for example, like taking Pluto off the planet, like it's no longer a planet, it's like, for astrologers, that's hilarious because that's avoidance behavior. That symbolizes the avoidance of shadow work. we don't like we don't feel like we feel like immortal beings because Pluto rules death. We're not immortal. We're mortal. And Pluto very clearly shows that. And for us to like say Pluto's no longer a planet is like, we don't believe in death anymore. I mean, it's funny because the truth is that death doesn't really exist in the way that we think it exists. Death is only a birth. Death is a birth to something else. You don't cease to exist when your physical body dies, right? You actually just are born again to some other form of being. You've always existed for eternity, and you will exist for eternity. And it's so interesting. But Eris, she's a warrioress goddess. In Aries, she's in the same sign as Chiron, which is like healing, like deep healing. And the story of Eris is, I don't think I've shared this. Maybe I have. There's they have this party in Olympus with all the gods, and Eris is not invited. It's like Maleficent, right? Like just don't invite her. She shows up anyways with a pomegranate. She throws it on the ground, and she says, "To the fairest of them all." And so all the goddesses start to fight over the pomegranate. And that supposedly is the beginning of the Trojan Wars. And then she just like leaves, So that's Eris. Like, you better watch out, you better watch out. So that is a very interesting thing that Venus is opposing Eris, and Venus is in her home sign. So there, I feel like they're working together. I don't feel like this is a challenging thing, but the challenge is to reconcile, right? The opposition leads to the opposition. Wow, man, I've been reading too many Hermetic. No, I'm not going to say too many. I've been reading a lot of Hermetic alchemy books. I've been studying the Rosicrucians. I mean, I've been like freaking going deep into this crazy, and it's perfect timing because I know that I'm supposed to be bringing this into the Moon Goddess training. But basically, there's like the law of polarity, but there's also the law of rhythm, and you can see things as opposite. Like, for example, love and hate. You have love on one end of the spectrum and hate on the other, but they're actually the same thing, because within the pendulum that swings from love to hate, or the scale that moves from love to hate, there's either more love and less hate or more hate and less love. There's never just love or just hate. Hate is just less love. Love is just less hate. So they're really one and the same. It's just the degrees that are the difference. It's just like the degree is here or the degree is over there. So those oppositions in astrology really teach us about the merging of the two. Like, how can you come to the middle? Can you do the middle path, right? Like Buddha teaches, like, it's all about the middle path. Like when like before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. It's kind of like that. So it's like that song Freedom, where I talk about how Buddha says you gain nothing from enlightenment, but you lose everything that doesn't matter. You find the middle ground. Whoa, I'm just going today. We're just going to keep going. So that's that. Now I want to talk about the Sabian and the Chandra symbols. Okay. So let me switch back to over here, and why I call this kaleidoscope chaotic. What the hell did I call it? Chaotic kaleidoscopic visions. Let's find out why that's the title of this. They're epic. Yeah, I love this too. And I know I've been missing comments. I haven't really been watching because I'm just in the zone. But here we go. We just want to keep it We keep it rolling. We hating. Because we riding dirty. Gonna see me riding dirty. Okay, that was completely retarded. All right, so here we go. 14 degrees of Virgo. What is the Sabian symbol? Let me make sure I actually have it correct here. Okay, here we go. Hypergateness. Exactly. We're in the hypergate. And I can't wait till class on Tuesday. Sabian symbols. 14 degrees of Virgo. A high school exchange student screens a film that he has shot, which comments on the moronic behavior of his classmates in pseudo-anthropological language. A high school exchange student screens a film he has shot, which comments on the moronic behavior of his classmates in pseudo-anthropological language. This is operating at a higher level of awareness than one's peers. Uranus, hip perspectives accompanied by an amused and anguished scorn for uptight, inbred scenes. Whoa. This is thinking outside the box. Cultural observers who study the surrounding culture from a detached scientific perspective, rather like an alien studying earthlings, superficially adapt to society in order to fit in, but aren't inwardly socialized. This is about hijacking people's consciousness. Whoa. Boy, let me just pause right there. And taking them on an eye-opening trip. What did I just talk about? Viewing society, open people up to the possibility of the magical and the marvelous. Sat Nam to that. Viewing society from a radically different angle. Uranus, chaotic, kaleidoscopic visions versus figuring out another culture's logic. This is bridging cultural gaps, finding a few friends one can really communicate with, learning tolerance, examining one's environment, and zooming in. Virgo. Okay, that's the Sabian symbol. That's what this moon is about. So, what is the Chandra symbol of? I know it's crazy. 14 Virgo. Interesting. Here we go. A man inherits a vast fortune. Aristocracy takes many forms. Whether by karmic predisposition or by bloodline or both, being granted the ultimate pedigree for serving effectively. Those who have ruled can serve. Those who have mastered can give themselves over. Those who have attained can extract the essence of what they have come to before and utterly discard the rest. Showered with blessings, filled to overflowing with streams of your background, you are yet definitely motivated to use all this as a springboard and not to lean back on it. Ooh, I like that. You feel the impulse to renew gifts, treasures, and mysteries, to revitalize the old streams, to make relevant and essential what has previously proven to be steady and enduring. And most of all, endowed with the fluency in drawing from the well something fresh and new. Ooh, from the well. I like that. And being so at home in bringing it all through that you become an individual here in the midst of things who just happens to know and be familiar with just about anything you need to access from the well that never runs dry. Wow. I'll read that one again. There was a lot in there. A man inherits a vast fortune. Aristocracy takes many forms, whether by karmic predisposition or by bloodline or both, being granted the ultimate pedigree for serving effectively. Those who have ruled can serve. Those who have mastered can give themselves over. Those who have attained can extract the essence of what they have come to before and utterly discard the rest. Showered with blessings, filled to overflowing with the streams of your background, you are yet definitely motivated to use all this as a springboard and not to lean back on it. You feel the impulse to renew gifts, treasures, and mysteries, to revitalize the old streams, to make relevant and essential what has previously proven to be steady and enduring, and most of all, endowed with the fluency in drawing from the well something fresh and new, and being so at home in bringing it all through that you become an individual here in the midst of things who just happens to know and be familiar with just about anything you need to access from the well that never runs dry. Whoa. There's a lot in there. If you want, I would recommend this book, Inside Degrees. This is the Chandra symbols, developing your soul biography using the Chandra symbols. And it's really cool to find out what your specific planets are, which symbols. So super powerful new moon in Virgo, you guys. So what I would like to do next is to go over each of the individual signs. Again, thank you everyone so much for being here, and tell you where this moon is actually occurring, where the moon, the sun, and Mars are in your chart right now, especially for rising signs. But remember, there's messages for moon, sun, and Venus as well. And if you have any planets in Virgo, they're being aspected by this new moon. So that will be significant as well, because the moon illuminates, the sun and the moon illuminate. The sun shines, the moon reflects, but they're the luminaries, so they illuminate wherever they are. So it's a new moon, it's a time to set intentions, and this is where you want to focus on setting intentions for yourself for this next moon, this new moon cycle. You're welcome. So if you're Aries, sun, moon, Venus, and rising, this new moon is happening in your 6th house of work, being in the present moment, taking care of your health, focusing on everything that you do every single day. So your schedule, your daily life, all of that good stuff. Set an intention for what kind of routines you want to start. Taurus, sun, moon, Venus, and rising. This new moon is happening in your 5th house of creativity and passion. So this is a moon that is a new moon that is asking you to set intentions as to what do you want to create? What do you want to manifest? How do you want to express your creativity? Set intentions for that. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. The moon is happening in your 4th house of the home. New opportunities, new things arriving at home. So setting intentions when it comes to being present, but at home with family, friends, people that you feel are really home and family to you. What do you want to set intentions for at home? Cancer, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is happening in your 3rd house of communication. And so this is a setting new intentions as to how do you want to communicate moving forward? How do you want to express yourself moving forward? Focus on the details. This is a Mercury ruled moon, new moon. So this is for all of us about communication, clear communication, and also knowing what it is that you want, being clear about what it is that you want. For Leo, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising, this new moon is happening in your 2nd house of values, self-esteem, the goddess, the empress, being grounded, money, finances. So this is about setting intentions as to what do you want to focus on what new routine do you want to focus on that will bring more money into your life and abundance into your life and help you feel more secure in life. This is asking you to look at how do you feel secure or do you not feel secure? Virgo, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is happening in your 1st house of the self, of identity, of who you are. This is about re-identifying yourself, asking yourself, what is it that you want to manifest in terms of like who you are? What new qualities do you want to bring in yourself? What new beautiful, what do you want to embody in terms of this Virgo energy in your life? How do you want to show up for the world? What do you want to project out? What do you want to give out based off of your identity, your own sense of self? Libra, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This moon is happening in your 12th house of divinity. This is about a spiritual awakening, setting an intention to focus very, very carefully on a spiritual routine. So taking up a new meditation routine, like a 40-day meditation would be awesome. Doing any kind of like I would say, I'm totally selling my program here, but like the Moon Goddess training is a great example because it's about like, we're going to be for 6 weeks, like focusing on on like right here, right now, like practicing all the things and talking about them and discussing them and all that stuff. And so it's about that, like bringing routine into your spiritual practice, Libra. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This is in your 11th house of friends and sharing your gifts with the world. So you have to focus on getting organized about how you share yourself with the world, getting organized about how you put yourself out there. And then also when it comes to friendships, when it comes to acquaintances, when it comes to networking with people, asking yourself, like, focus on the details. Don't get lost in the abyss. Don't try to escape it, but literally bring your focus down to a more like grounded level, and you'll get your answers as to how to proceed to move forward. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This new moon is happening in your 10th house of career and life path. So this is about focusing like business, career, life path, getting organized. So if you're a Sagittarius rising, it's like this is a new moon that will help you to set intentions as to how to schedule, your life around, like not around, but like schedule your life so that you are focusing on career and life path. And the 10th house is about showing up for the world. So focus on showing up for the world. This is what it says. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This moon is happening in your 9th house of spiritual integration. So just like Libra, this can be a huge mind expansion, a huge activation of your mind, an awakening, something that takes you higher and helps you see that higher perspective. And that also makes it so that when you have that higher perspective, when you finally reach that high perspective, you understand and you come back down to earth, Virgo, with an expanded mind and a deeper understanding of everything that's going on. So you have to set an intention to understand things, but to focus on the details, because it's in the details. It's in the details that you'll find your answer. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This moon is happening in your 8th house of death, change, and transformation. So this is an interesting energy, but the 8th house is about inviting in change, inviting in transformation, inviting in transmutation, inviting in the phoenix, the energy of the phoenix that rises from the ashes. This is the scorpion that becomes the eagle, or like, you know, the scorpion that becomes the phoenix and completely frees itself. It is about freedom, but it's looking deeply at what's in the underworld, at what's hidden, so that you can free yourself. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. This moon is happening in your 7th house. So for you, it's about relationships, all kinds of relationships, romantic, business, any kind of relationship really. And Virgo in the 7th house and a new moon there is, so how do you want to show up every day when it comes to relationships? What do you want to bring to the table when it comes to relationships? Is there something new that you want to do? Is there something new that you want to activate within the realm of relationships? If you bring a beautiful new routine, if you just kind of get yourself to like want to do something new and different, then you'll enjoy your relationships a lot better. Of course, everybody has to be on the same page, but this is a new beginning in relationships. Think of it, any new moon in the 7th house is like the Ace of Cups, right? It's a new beginning in love, but it has the flavor of whatever the sign the moon is in. Virgo is purity. So how can you bring more purity into your relationships? All right, you guys, that is all. How long have I been talking? Like an hour? I want to thank you all so much for supporting this channel, for sharing it out. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram. I post a lot on there as well. And thank you to all the moderators that are here in the chats. And I really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you, all of you that have already signed up for the Moon Goddess training and those that are going to sign up. I can't freaking wait. That is like where a lot of my energy and like attention and focus is really like, I'm getting so many downloads about it. So again, thank you. Remember the special this month. If you want an astral activation and you've had a starseed reading with me, make sure you check out all the links in the description is all the things that I talked about in the beginning. But love you guys. And I will be back tomorrow night for the new moon ceremony. And I think I'm going to, because I want to do the weekly reading as well. I want to do the weekly reading and I want to do the new moon reading. So I think I'm going to do 2 separate videos, where in one video I'll do the weekly reading and then then we'll do the new moon ceremony. I'll figure out how to do it. I might go live like earlier in the day to do the weekly reading. So make sure that, or I might upload it. I don't know what I'm going to do, but make sure that you have the notifications turned on the channel so that you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos and all that good stuff. So thank you, Kim. Thank you, Christina Maria. Thank you, Warrior Sisters of Light, Boo Barth, Valerie, Aaron. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Sanders. Thank you, everybody. And I'll be back tomorrow. I can't wait for the ceremony to celebrate together in this beautiful energy. Satnam, Satnam, Wahe Guru.